Hey, and welcome back to the shop here at Tucson Acres. So the day's finally come. I got my AVE Skookum is Frig 18mm snap-off blade knife. And it also comes with the copper upgrade kit for the original 25mm. So I'm gonna bring the camera in closer and we'll get into it. All right, so here's what the box looks like. Here's our unpacking. And we'll go ahead and take care of the 25 first. Today I just kind of want to get the new parts in, get my new button modified. So for those that didn't see this before, I changed the spring setup. So the original spring was a wafer style spring. I found, especially being in my pocket or in the truck or whatever, that dust or dirt, debris, any kind of debris that got in there would get in between the coils of the wafer spring and prevent it from depressing, the button depressing. So my modification, if you didn't see the previous video, was to simply get rid of the wafer spring. I drilled out the hole a little bit deeper, and then I stuck a little spring. Come on, focus, sorry. There's a little spring down in there. And then I fashioned what I call a debris collar out of some aluminum stock, and I just slide that over it. And so far, it has worked really, really, really well. And I appreciate that AVE has, I'm assuming, seen that, because he mentioned a premature release, you know, and you're fiddling around all by yourself and it slips out on you. But I haven't had that issue. It has a very solid click to it. So you press your button, each one, and you can see it's actually fully engaged when I do that. So the button, you see it's even on both sides. Push it down, comes up. And I think I want to make a new debris collar out of this brass drift. Like I probably could make one out of copper to match the new copper parts. But that's the only big chunk of copper I have that I found in 5 minutes of looking. I really, really like these. What brand was that? Rapid Edge. I did a whole video, if you didn't see it, on the different blades. These Rapid Edge serrated blades are really amazing. All right, so we got our rails cleaned up, or our guide rails, and I started using the palm sander here, and it dawned on me, copper is really, really soft. So when I was trying to get those little nubs out of there, it started coming off really fast and easy. So I just did it on some steel off to the side like that and softened it up. And you don't have to worry about softening up these edges, because this whole piece is going to be sandwiched, and then you'll smooth this side to finish on the outside. Now, for the bottom of the button, I found with the original one, by softening up this edge right here, I know it's hard to see, but this edge right here, just very ever so slightly, it glides on the inside much, much better. And the way I did that in the first one, I literally just chucked it in a drill like that, and then just very softly so now there's ever so slight of a ramp on there, and that helps it glide inside of there so much easier. Out with the old, in with the new. All right, I think we're all set. We got all of our new hardware, and look at that. He gives you 2 extra screws, which is nice. I've already got the hole drilled out with my new spring in there. Not new, the old spring. Okay. I am not tightening any of these down. I definitely like these torques. Nice work, AVE. Now I'm going to slide the blade in here just to see. Holy smokes. It went in with no resistance. That blade lock did not do anything. Maybe it's got to be tightened down more. Oh yeah, my blade lock, I don't know if anybody else has this issue. You look right here. It's sticking out maybe a 1/16 of an inch. Doesn't usually stick out quite that far. There, now the blade lock's working. Huh, I don't know. It's like it was hung up on something. Now I like to give it a little tappy tap to make sure all the plates are nice and lined up and even. And I'm not torquing these yet. I'm just getting them snug this time. Okay, now we'll test it out. Okay, blade lock's working this time. Oh, see, it's stuck. I don't know why it's doing that. Okay, something is not good. I don't know what. There's a lot of resistance right now. Blade has some jiggle, so that shouldn't be the issue. So it's my button set up somehow or another. So I'm going to get rid of my debris collar and see if that changes anything. My button is not compressing enough, is what it appears to be. I'm going to try it without my spring and with his spring. It's still really snug. Really, really snug. I'm going to try it with no spring. See if these buttons marry up perfectly. Yeah. So the old base works fine. Okay, so here's something I'm noticing. When filing it, I'm touching the inside corner here and the outside. I'm not hitting the middle. It tells me there's a little bit of a wave in there of sorts, which I can't really see myself by eye. You know what? Let's just try it. I'll go ahead and put the spring back in here. And just so you can see the action I get with the spring. And it's just a coil and a half of that spring. Okay, I have a feeling this is going to work a little better. Still got to do something about that guy. Well, it's not binding as much, but it's certainly not the way it should be. Let's go back to our original setup and see if there's a difference. So back to the stainless steel one. Beautiful. No issues whatsoever. So there's still something goofy with one of these. Let's check the overall thickness. 504.9, 0485, 05, 0520. Yeah, this copper dude's a lot thicker. I wonder if the rest of the button is the same as well. Oh, look at that. This button's taller. And I didn't touch, other than drilling the hole in this top button, I didn't touch it. Well, what I'm looking at here, this section right here, appears to be taller on the copper. I mean, doesn't that copper one look thicker right there than this one? How about we do this? When I do that, at least to my eyeballs, this section seems to be sticking up higher than the shoulder than this one is than that shoulder. Now, this one, because it's that bottom shoulder that needs to come down ever so slightly. And I would bet that just about everybody's knife is just a smidge different depending on how you finished it. Did you sand down some pieces? You know, the original layers here, you know, I put a good sand and polishing on them. So that's probably, you know, why my screws stick out just a little bit. And everybody's is going to be slightly different. As long as the blade still has plenty of room in there None of that other stuff should matter as long as the parts work, you know? So I gotta sand this down just a little bit, and I'm betting it'll work just fine. 2425, 2420, 35, 2435, 24. Oh, you know what? That stupid little nipple on here. Make sure you're not measuring on that. Let's get rid of that. A little bit of a nipple on here. That's probably screwing up a lot of my measurements. Let's get rid of this one too. Now let's double check it. 2380, 2380, 2330. I took it down too much because of that damn nipple. Nipple screwed me again. But that's all right. I'm not worried about that. Okay, so let's take this all the way back down to parade rest and go piece by piece and see which piece is binding. So the blade works. Let's put the bottom piece in. That seems to be fine. Bottom piece with the top piece of the button with no spring. That's fine. Top button, or both button halves with the debris collar. That's what's binding, debris collar. Well, that would have saved a whole lot of issues. Okay, that's an easy fix. I might put a dab of grease in this button so the spring stays in there. There it is. Nice and smooth. Catches the way it's supposed to. It's even popping all the way up. No accidental release. Okay, I am happy with that. Now I gotta fix this guy here. And all I'm gonna do is pop these in too loose and try to pry out that end piece just a smidge. And you can see it move. That looks better. Now it moves the way it's supposed to. It's just enough. Now we'll get our spring back in there. There. Our button is still not, or our lock is still not working. So part of this is because this is sticking up here. It's kind of bent out. I'm scared to bend it back in too much because I don't want to break it. But I think I need to fix that. So once I'm sure that this works, I'm gonna go ahead and pull it all back apart, bend that piece out. Because see, that shouldn't be doing that. That button should be stopping that. All right, so that'll do it for this video for the 25 mil. Now for the other one, this guy, I'm gonna make this part really quick. I'm just gonna go ahead, do a very, very light touch-up sanding to get rid of the cut marks, and then we'll just slap it together. So like, that's what I'm talking about, the cut marks. You see all that spatter on there? Let's see, so this is our bottom plate. So let's go ahead and throw 2 screws in. I wonder if these are T5s. Oh, little Phillips, AVE. What is this crap? How can you do that to us? Give us T5s with the upgrade kit and then give us regular Phillips with the little guy? Ugh. I'll make do. Don't worry about me. Uh-oh. Did I just put those in the wrong damn side? I did. Son of a gun. I'll go like that. All right, so now as far as the stack goes, we should have the 2 little guys first. These are our blade guides. Then the 2 big ones. Get down there. Oh, our button. We need our button. Button has to sit there first. Thing goes in like that. Okay. Yep, that's right. Two extra screws with this one. Very nice. All right, let's talk about blades for a quick second. So I stopped at my favorite local store, and all they had were these Husky blades, but these are serrated blades. I'm sure they're made in China. Yep, made in China. So it wouldn't surprise me if they're the same brand as these Rapid Edge ones. Then I had to go to the Ugly Blue store. I hate that store. I despise the Blue Box store. But they do carry Olfa, and they Speed blade. Huh. Alrighty, so I would imagine it goes in the same way. Got to push your button. Put our bottom one in. I'm gonna guess that you got to slide it in there, get it centered, then do your button and spring, and then slide it forward. Yep. Nice. So this kind of works out. I didn't really know how to expect this. I was thinking that as you retracted it, the button would fall right back into the hole and want to fall out. But he's got the release tab or the release button back here in the right spot so that when you retract the blade, it goes to almost into that hole and then stops. And you can't go any further unless you push this release button like that. That's cool. Nice work. And this one, I think because everything is in one piece, these can't slide. The front outer can't move. And I think it actually helps keep everything aligned a little bit better than this one. These outer pieces here on the front of the 25, they can move. And you kind of have to be just right to get the lock button to fit perfectly in all of them because they can move. There's a little bit of play in there. So I actually really like this design better. Very, very cool. And this one seems to have quite a bit more room in there for the spring and the button. So I don't think I'm going to need to modify this little bugger. So if you take a look at the big one, see that spring right there? One grain of sand gets in there, that button does not want to depress. Whereas this little one here, you can actually see right through that spring. There's a lot more clearance in there for debris to be able to be squished through. I'm going to see if I can't press the button. See how much room you got there? Whereas the big guy here, this is the original button, original spring. There is not much room. Basically, when that button's pushed, that spring is completely compressed. No clearance whatsoever. All right, so one last thing before I wrap this video up. I picked up a couple little pocket clips off of Amazon, and I'm thinking of trying to rig one up on this bigger one. So let me know in the comments what you guys think about the shapes. I'll pull all three of them out here, and where you think the best place to put it would be on the knife. And I'll tell you where, I'll show you here in a second where I keep this knife, generally speaking. So it might be different for me from where you guys would normally keep it, but I keep mine on this, or I carry it, and I know I've showed this before, but I've got this side pocket here on these Duluth pants, and it sits real nice right in there. So I'm kind of thinking something along this edge or this edge for me. Probably this edge, as long as it doesn't get in the way with the release button there, but something so it can hold in there, because I have had it fall out just sitting in a car seat. It'll just slide right out. So it'd be nice to have something there. but for fellas that carry it on their belt loop, it might be better on the back side, you know, something like up in here. So let me know what you guys think, and I'll try to get something fabbed up here. And on the next video, I'll have that done, and I'll also cut out or lathe out the brass debris collar up in here, and I'll have both of them all cleaned up and purdied up, and I'll probably get a little bit of footage of that, but it's nothing special, nothing new. I'm just gonna sand up the edges, smooth it all out, put a little bit of a polish on it. I don't really like the sharper edges on the insides here from the cutting, so I'll probably, again, get the Dremel out or a little rotary tool and clean those up. This one, on the 18, the screws don't seem to protrude through the back side. I don't really see anything sticking out, so that's kind of nice. But this one, the new screws are way out there. So I'll sand those down and then refinish the whole backside. I was gonna wrap it up here, and I don't know what happened, but I'm just playing with this little guy, and all of a sudden the button falls all the way back. And that's where it can come out. I'm gonna have to look into that, and if I come up with anything, I'll let you know. But that's it for today. Appreciate everybody stopping by. Please take a second to do me a solid, hit them like and subscribe buttons, and hopefully within a week or so we'll have the next video out. See you then.